Hi everybody, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Lottie and this is a modestly sized book haul. I feel like the name of this book haul is probably going to be something like the special edition haul, because I swear to God most of the books I'm going to be talking about today are fairyloot special editions. So this is my second book haul of the year, following my massive January one, which was just excessive. Unfortunately I have toned it down a little bit since. So as I usually do with book hauls, I'm going to be splitting this up into sections and I will chapter them for you in the description, so you can just jump to the section that you're most interested in if you really want to. But yeah, we're just going to jump straight into it and talk about the books that I have acquired recently, either through purchasing or through gifts. So we're going to go and start off with my Afterlight special editions. So my first Afterlight box this year was March, because I skipped the January one, and the book in this was For Her Consideration by Amy Spalding, which is obviously a contemporary romance, and it is sapphic, and it is about a Hollywood actress and I think a scriptwriter, who are obviously the two characters on the cover here. So the Afterlight edition I think is just an exclusive colourway. I will overlay the original cover on top for you so you can kind of see the difference, but I really like this Afterlight edition. I really like the colours on it, and it does also have a very cool sprayed edge with the palm tree on there and the ombre, and it does have these nice ombre end pages, and this one is actually signed as well, which is pretty nice. All of the Afterlight editions I've had in the past have only had digital signatures, which I just feel like are a bit pointless. I would rather they just not be included if they're not going to be like actually signed. But yeah, I'm very looking forward to reading this one. I do prefer the sapphic romances that come in the Afterlight boxes to the heterosexual ones, but yeah, I'm very much looking forward to reading this. The other special editions I got from Afterlight recently were the Helen Huang set. So I do have an unboxing for this series and this book as well, if you would like to go and check that out, where I go into sort of like full detail and my initial reaction as well to opening these up. As you guys know, I love Helen Huang's books. She is probably the first romance author I read from, and this series is just so cute, I think. So I love these Afterlight editions. I love the pastel. It reminds me of an ice cream shop, and they've all got stenciled edges, sprayed edges, whatever you want to call them, that have patterns that match the characters in the series. So this is again a contemporary romance series about three different people who are related. So the love interest in the first one is the cousin of the love interest in the second one, who is the brother of the love interest in the third one. And they're all three of these books as well. One of the love interests has autism. So in the first book, The Kiss Quotient, we're following Stella and Michael. Stella is the autistic character in this, and she hires a male escort, who is Michael, to kind of teach her about love, because she doesn't really know anything about romance, about sex. So she hires Michael to teach her. Ultimately, they end up developing a relationship with each other. And I just really love this series. It's so cute, it's so fun. There is kind of more serious themes in each of these books as well. The one I remember the most about is The Heart Principle, because it's the one I've read most recently, but this series would just always be really special to me because it was really like the first true romance series I ever read, and made me really want to read more from the genre. But these Afterlight editions are absolutely gorgeous, and I would love to see Afterlight do more with their bi-monthly boxes when it comes to exclusive covers, but these are just absolutely stunning. So next we're going to move on to my monthly adult fairyloot subscription special editions. I think I've got 4 to talk to you about, and I think I have skipped maybe one box. I think I skipped January's box, but I don't think I've skipped any of the others since yet. I kind of like to find out what the book is going to be before the box comes. To find out, I follow Eater of Stories on Instagram, who is pretty good at predicting what the book's going to be. But I've been mildly intrigued with the books that have come out since February. So let's get started. So first we have The Adventures of Miminia Al-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty, who is obviously the author of the Daevabad trilogy, and this is, I think, their adult debut. I think it might be it's either a standalone or the first in a series, so I'm not actually sure on that one, but it is obviously adult fantasy, and it is Middle Eastern inspired and also about pirates, and I also think it is sapphic as well. This fairyloot edition is absolutely stunning. I will overlay the original cover on the top for you here, but it's got all this gorgeous foil detailing. It's just absolutely beautiful. I love the sprayed edges as well. It's just so gorgeous. But what really blew me away was the end pages. So the end pages of this book are maps, and it's the same map on both sides, except we have this character detailing here. And I think in the regular edition it is a map as well, but I just really love the addition of the character detailing here. And obviously, look guys, there's a cat. You guys know I love cats, so I'm just very, very excited to read this book. It's also foiled as well. It's just absolutely stunning. And then this is the foiling under the jacket as well. Like, I think Fairyloot really pulled it out of the bag for this book, and it has made me very, very excited for the future books. I've been really impressed with all of the editions I've had so far this year, so I really need to get a wriggle on and start reading these books, because ever since I subscribed to Fairyloot back in, I think it was last August, I haven't read any of the books yet, which is pretty bad, but the books are pretty at the very least. So the March pick was The Foxglove King by Hannah Witten, which I did unbox on camera when I unboxed these books as well. And this is one that I'm very excited about, because this is a fae romance, and as you guys know, I love my fantasy romance, my fae. So I was very impressed with this edition as well. It's not too special compared to the original cover. I think it's just got a different colorway, but I'm very excited about the book itself. So I haven't read anything from Hannah Witten just yet, but I do have her first duology, which I think was Little Red Riding Hood inspired. But this is the first in a new series, and I'm just very, very excited because I'm just very, very excited. So these were the end pages. We've obviously got individual and character detailing, but what I was really excited about was the naked hardback, which is this printed hardback with the stained glass window and all of the foil detailing. I think it's just absolutely gorgeous. And then those were the sprayed edges as well. And it is of course signed by Hannah Witten as well. But yeah, I'm very, very excited to read this one. And I also forgot to say that it does have a reversible dust jacket as well. So I suppose it makes up for the fact that detailing is still the same. It's not an exclusive cover, but it does have a reversible jacket with character detailing on there for you. April's pick was In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune, which is TJ Klune's next cozy fantasy standalone. So this one is Pinocchio inspired, and I was really, really surprised when it came, because the cover is so different to the original, but I was very, very impressed. I love this colour scheme with the sunset and everything, and I think that the cover is absolutely stunning. So I've not read anything from TJ Klune yet, but I do have his kind of like first of these collection of standalones where they're not like connected in any way, I think, but the kind of covers, they're all sort of linked a little bit, I feel, but they're all sort of the same genre where it's a little bit more of a cozy, heartwarming fantasy. But these are the edges. I think they're the same on the front and the back, yeah, this month. But I still think it's a gorgeous piece of artwork. And then this was the foiling under the dust jacket as well. It's just so beautiful. And it is, again, signed by TJ Klune. House in the Cerulean Sea is the one that I do have, which I did put on my 23 for 2023. And Under the Whispering Door is the other book of this kind of collection, I suppose. Like, I feel like they all could go together in a little collection themselves, even though they're all their own story and they're all standalones. But yeah, this is a Pinocchio retelling, and I think it's about androids as well. I feel like I haven't given a very good description of these books so far, but it's just because I don't really know too much about them. But this is another one I'm really excited to read. I just need to actually get a wriggle on and read it. And then May's adult fairyloot was The Curse of Saints by Kate Dramis, which actually only arrived yesterday. And this is another one with an exclusive cover. It does have the foiling on it. It's also got this kind of shiny detailing with the character on it as well. I just think this is a really beautiful book. Like, I just love the colour scheme with like the pale rose gold and beigey, and then it's just got an ombre edge, but I feel like the exclusive cover kind of makes up for that. It does again have exclusive edges that are different on both sides, and then this was the foiling under the jacket, which I think is gorgeous as well. It was just so beautiful. And again, this one is signed as well, but this is one that I don't really know too much about. I think it's about an assassin and it is a romance as well, but I'm very interested to read this one. It's just the one that I very nearly skipped this box, and I did actually forget to skip it, but I feel like it's made up for it with this absolutely beautiful edition. So if I ended up not liking the book, I will obviously just sell it, but like the edition is just stunning. So in May as well, Fairyloot actually announced that they're going to start doing a romantasy or fantasy romance subscription box, which I'm very, very excited about. I've put my name down for the waiting list, but I am definitely thinking I'm going to subscribe to that because you guys know I love my fantasy romance and I feel like I want to read more fantasy, but also I really just want to read fantasy romance, if I'm being honest. Like, that is my favourite genre. So the fact that there is going to be a subscription box from Fairyloot that is going to exclusively focus on that, I'm very excited about, because Fairyloot do absolutely beautiful editions, so I'm hoping that the picks for this box will be great. They are probably going to be books that I'm just generally excited to read. In terms of carrying on with my subscriptions, I think I'm going to stick with Fairyloot Adult for a while, but I am considering cancelling my Afterlight one. I'm just not as interested in reading those books, unfortunately, and generally I've been really unhappy with the box since I subscribed. Like, I just think the items that come in it are a waste of money. But they did a survey very recently where they kind of are suggesting whether or not they're going to do a book only subscription. So if they do that, I will be on board for that. Like, if it goes book only, I will definitely say subscribe, depending on what the pricing is like. But if it's gonna stay how it is, I think I'm gonna unsubscribe because I'm just not interested in the books, unfortunately. So in the last few months as well, I have gained 3 new editions of the Crescent City series by Sarah J Maas. So I'm going to talk to you guys about those next. So obviously I've read these books previously. House of Earth and Blood is my favourite book of all time. I absolutely love it. And when Fairyloot and Illumicrate announced that they were going to be doing special editions of these books, I just could not resist. So I did purchase both of those editions. They were very, very expensive. And I've also recently gotten the new paperbacks as well of the series. I usually am not someone who cares about getting a hardback and a paperback edition of books that I love, but the paperbacks are so gorgeous that I just thought I have to get them. So I'm going to talk you through these individual editions now. So first off, we have the Illumicrate edition, which did have a reversible dust jacket, and I have changed the dust jacket around because the original jacket was just the normal cover for the hardbacks. I chose to switch them around because not only is this artwork absolutely beautiful, it just makes them a little bit more unique. So the Illumicrate edition did come with a ribbon bookmark, and it has these sprayed edges as well, which are absolutely gorge. So obviously I've flipped the jacket around, but that is what the original jacket looks like. It is pretty much exactly the same as the original. The spine is different to my edition. It matches the House of Sky and Breath edition better. I don't know if I have a funny edition or what, but my spine on my hardback of Crescent City, the House of Earth and Blood, is weird. And also on the back it does have Sarah J Maas's signature, and it says Illumicrate on it as well. Under the dust jacket there is foiling, so obviously it's got House of Earth and Blood on it. All the little details as well that kind of represent things in the book itself I think are really, really cute. So they've obviously stuck with the original colour scheme. Fairyloot did that as well, which I do really like because I feel like the individual colour schemes of all these books just works really well. And then this is what we've got on the end pages. So we got La Habba in the library, which I think is just so cute, and yeah, it is the same on both sides. Sadly, it would have been nice if they were unique for each side, but the fun thing about the Illumicrate editions is that they have come with chapter inserts. These are some artwork that you insert into the book over the page, and it basically makes the book illustrated, which I think is really cool. I have got them out and looked at them because I just couldn't resist. I'll see if I can show you guys one. So this isn't too spoilery, but we've got Bryce and Danica here, and so this would overlay the page because it is ever so slightly see-through, and it would just look really cute. It makes for good photos, I think. But there are several ones of these for different chapters in the book with a different scene on them, but the artwork is absolutely beautiful. So I feel like this makes up for the fact that it's not signed and the end page artwork is the same, and the original cover was the same as well, but obviously we do have that reversible jacket. So this is the Illumicrate edition of House of Sky and Breath, which is obviously the second book in the series, and again I've flipped around the jacket, but it is pretty much the same. It's just obviously got this different artwork on it with Bryce and Hunt, and it's still keeping with the blue colour scheme, which I do really like. So the end pages are very similar, they're just in a blue colour scheme instead, and we've also got the hawk in the middle there. So again, the original jacket was the same cover, except it has the Illumicrate and Sarah J Maas's signature on the back, and under the jacket again it matches, which is very satisfying. It's lovely with this gorgeous foiling on it as well. And then these were the end pages, which were just absolutely beautiful. I can't remember like where this is from, like the scene, but it is stunning. I love the way that it just looks like it is actually like lit up, and obviously it's the same on the back as well. And it obviously does also come with a ribbon bookmark and the chapter overlays as well. So then we had the fairyloot editions, which I did unbox in my Kingdom of Ash vlog. So what I love about the fairyloot editions is that they come in this lovely slipcase, which has lots and lots of foiling on it. So obviously it's got one because this is the first book, but I really love these. I think they're gorgeous. So let's open it up. So this does have an exclusive cover. I'm not like that impressed by the cover. I think I do prefer a really detailed like illustrated cover, if you haven't noticed, but I do think this is gorgeous. I've got lots and lots of foiling on it and it just looks stunning, and it's got the quote that I have tattooed on my body: "If you love, all is possible." It's just gorgeous. And these were the edges as well with the moon phases on, which I absolutely love. So I think it's safe to say I was a lot more impressed with the fairyloot editions. This was the foiling under the jacket, so I feel like this makes up for the fact that like there is not loads of illustrations and detail on this. I mean, there's loads of detail on it, but just not the sort of thing that I prefer. I would have liked to see like this sort of cover actually on the jacket itself, and then we've got the quote on the back, and these editions also do come with a ribbon bookmark. What I absolutely love is the character artwork on the end pages though, like it's just absolutely stunning. So we've got Bryce and Danica here, and then on the back we've got Hunt and Rune, and I just think this artwork is absolutely stunning. So then with the House of Sky and Breath edition, it is again very similar. It comes in this lovely slipcase, and it's sticking with the blue colour scheme with this exclusive cover with the foiling and everything. What I like is that they're similar but like not the same, and it's got light up on the back as well. And then these were the edges of this book with the same pattern, it's just in blue and black instead, which I do really like. And then the foiling under the jacket was this portrait of Hunt with light it up on the back as well with the lightning, which obviously represents Hunt himself. And then the character artwork on the end pages again was absolutely gorgeous. So this is obviously Bryce and Hunt. I just love this. And then the characters on the back, I'm ashamed to say I can't remember their names. I remember that this was Tharion, who is the merman. That is not how I pictured him though. I obviously did not read his character description properly. And then I can't remember this guy's name. I think it was Ethan I worked out, who is one of the werewolves. But I just feel like there were a couple of kind of random, is that bad, characters to choose from. If I think about like when I read this book, they do actually both have perspectives in this book. I obviously just didn't read this book very well. To be fair, when I read this book I did have COVID, so I think it's allowed for me to have forgotten some of the minor details. So then we've also got the paperback editions as well, which, as I said, like there's nothing special about these. I just think that the illustrations on the cover is stunning. Like it's so much better than the original paperback for House of Earth and Blood, which, as you guys know, I bought, hated, and then had to buy the hardback anyway. But if this had been the original cover at the time, I would not have cared because this is lovely. I'm hoping that they don't have another cover change when House of Flame and Shadow comes out, because I won't be happy. I mean, I will buy new matching editions, but I don't have the space. I have a Sarah J Maas shelf. It's not featured behind me. I am planning to move my shelves around a little bit so that like the shelf that I like the most is also in the background of my videos. But my Sarah J Maas shelf is now full and I don't actually have enough space to display all of these books. So I don't know what I'm going to do because obviously there's going to be more to come. So yeah, we're going to have to move some things around. But yeah, I really like these new paperback editions. I think they are much better than what they were probably going to be. So yeah. So if you didn't know, that now makes it 5 editions of the first book in that series that I now have. Okay, so that's enough of special editions. Let's move on to books that I have got recently. So I'm going to start off with the gifts. So first of all was a birthday gift that didn't quite make it into my last book haul, and it was She and Her Cat by Makoto Shinkai, which was gifted to me by Melissa. And as you guys know, I have read this. I absolutely loved it. It was in my second of my cat books vlogs, so if you'd like to hear my thoughts on that, please go check that out. But this is a Japanese translated literary fiction about 3 different cats. I think it was 3 different cats who live in this little neighborhood in Tokyo, and it's kind of the story of how they help their owners overcome quite difficult things in their lives. But it was so sweet. I absolutely loved it. 5 stars. For Spoops' Valentine's gift exchange, I think it was, Andy gifted me The Red Scrolls of Magic and The Lost Book of the White by Cassandra Clare, which are the first 2 books. Oh, and Wesley Chu, sorry. These are the first 2 books in the Eldest Curses series, which is the next series we're going to be reading for By the Angel Along. So I'm really excited to read these. They're about Alec and Magnus, who are like my favourite couple in the whole Shadowhunters world. I'm very intrigued to read these because I don't know quite the timeline of these and where they fit in. I thought they were after the Dark Artificer series at first, but they're not. I think they actually take place in between different books in all of these different series, but I'm very excited to read these. They are on my May and June TBR, so I'm going to be getting to them very soon. Vicky gifted me The Tea Dragon Festival by Kay O'Neill, which is the 2nd book in the Tea Dragon Society graphic novel series, and it is a middle grade graphic novel about tea dragons. I read the first one very recently and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was just so cute and the artwork is beautiful, so I'm very much looking forward to carrying on with this little series and just looking at the beautiful artwork more than anything, and kind of just seeing like the story and the world expand a little bit more. So thank you very much, Vicky. And then most recently we did a Easter gift exchange in Spoops' Discord, and this was gifted to me by Will, so thank you very much, Will. And it is The Gargoyle's Captive by Casey Robert, which I think is part of a series of standalone monster romances I'm very intrigued in reading. I really want to get into my Casey Roberts. She has written the Wicked Villains series, which is like Disney but smutty, and I really want to read those. I have the first book, so I really hope to get to it soon. I think there are 2 books that come before this one. I kind of just put everything on my wish list, so I know that they could get purchased out of order. But thank you very much, Will. I'm very intrigued to read this because it was obviously about a gargoyle, and I don't think I've ever really seen gargoyles in the fantasy that I have read, so I'm very intrigued to read this one. And now for a few books that I have bought for myself. So first of all, we have Before They Are Hanged and The Last Argument of Kings by Joe Abercrombie, which are books 2 and 3 in the First Law series, which I am reading for Catch Up Book Club's first law along. As you know, I have read Before They Are Hanged, and I think I rated it 3 stars in the end, but I am looking forward to seeing how the series will conclude and kind of give way for the world to be expanded further for the like short story collection standalones and stuff that are coming up. But this one is on my May and June TBR, so I'm going to be getting to it very soon. But obviously, like, I needed to purchase these because they were the next ones in the series that I had to read. A pre-order that arrived was Rainbow Grey Battle for the Skies by Laura Ellen Anderson, which is the 3rd and final book in the Rainbow Grey series, which is a middle grade fantasy series. So in the first book we're following Ray Grey, who lives in the Weatherlands, and everybody around her can do some sort of weather magic, but Ray doesn't have any magic, and so she takes a trip to Earth to kind of discover herself. So I haven't read the 2nd book yet, but I love these Waterstones editions because they have these gorgeous sprayed edges. So this one obviously has like a rainbow sunflower on it, which I absolutely love. But yeah, I really need to carry on with this series. I have all of the books now. I didn't realise it was only a trilogy. It's really cute. I love the illustrations in it as well. Laura Ellen Anderson is like just a really cute children's illustrator, so I'm looking forward to carrying on with this series at some point. I did also pick up Saga Volume 5, which is by Fiona Staples and Brian K. Vaughan, and as you guys know, I'm reading this series because I really love it. Every so often, if I pass Forbidden Planet or Waterstones, I try and just pop in to see if they've got the next one in the series that I needed to read. I shouldn't really flick through it because I haven't read Volume 4 yet, and I will see spoilers, but I just love this series. It's a sci-fi comic series about 2 warring planets, and 2 people from these planets have a baby together, so they're on the run because it's all very forbidden. But I absolutely love it. It's so exciting. Like, at first I wasn't quite sure, but after the conclusion of Volume 3, it's made me really love this series, and I really need to carry on with it very soon, hopefully. And then this little last section of books I got in a Waterstones big purchase because they were doing like double points or something. So I got a few different things, a lot of pre-orders, but a few things that have already been released. So first of all is A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair, which is the first in the Hades Persephone saga, and it is a fantasy romance series obviously about Hades and Persephone. So I just really wanted to get more into like sort of more indie style fantasy romance. This is indie published, but I think it has been picked up in the UK, which is why it's like the international edition. I didn't realise it had been picked up in the UK because I thought it was just indie. But I don't really know too much about it. I know Becca from Becca and the Books has read it recently. She liked it, but her reaction like wasn't very promising because I was a bit like, oh, I've already bought that, and she didn't seem to like it very much. But I'm still very hopeful for this. It's just like, it's yet another Hades and Persephone retelling, and I feel like there are so many of those out there at the moment. But I'm very interested to read this one. I can't remember the exact premise of the plot, but I know that it's like 2 series that run alongside each other, because the other one is from Hades' perspective and it kind of adds a little bit more to the story. So I'm interested to see like how I get on with this book, and then to read the Hades version of this book and to see like how the story intertwines with each other. I also picked up Gothicana by Runix, which is I think it's a dark academia romance with a little bit of a fantasy twist to it. And I was intrigued by the plot of this when I read the blurb when I was like adding it to my cart, and then I went on Goodreads and I saw that Ashley from A Frolic Through Fiction, like, she either gave it 1 star or DNF'd it and said it was one of the worst books she's ever read. So now I'm scared. But this is another one that's like kind of that indie vibe, where I feel like it was picked up by a publisher due to its popularity. But I'm intrigued to read this one. I think it's like, it's about a university. I don't read dark academia very often, so I'm a little bit scared to kind of dip into that genre, but I feel like it's a genre I will really enjoy. But yeah, I am looking forward to reading this. I'm just a little bit scared. I also picked up this gorgeous edition of The Art of Prophecy by Wesley Chu, which is the first in the War Art saga, and the main reason I wanted to get it is because it's a Waterstones edition and it has these really pretty sprayed edges. Look at that, it's gorgeous. And also the end pages are a map of the world, full colour, which are gorgeous. I just love maps. I just think they're so pretty. But again, I don't know, I can't remember. Like, I did check out the blurbs of these books before I purchased them because, you know, I didn't want to just buy stuff without looking at what it was about. But the tagline of this is prophecies don't make heroes, they only choose them. So it's about a chosen one, and the prophecy is wrong apparently. So I'm gonna leave it as a little bit of a mystery for now until I get around to picking up the book, I think. But I haven't read anything from Wesley Chu before, but I'm intrigued by this book. And I will be honest, it was mostly a cover buy because the cover is stunning. And finally, I picked up the Infernal Devices manga. Yeah, so I didn't even know that this was a thing that existed, and this is a bind up of 3 volumes of the manga for all 3 books. I'm not a big fan of the artwork in here. It's not the kind of artwork I usually pick up when I read manga, but I really enjoyed the Infernal Devices series, so it would be nice to reread it in this format eventually and kind of just see it told in a different way, especially because I love Jem. He's probably my favourite character, like, across all of the series, or at least one of them. I would really love to read this at some point and read it relatively soon because I really liked the Infernal Devices, but yeah, I just think that this is really pretty. And like, these I think were the original covers of the manga, but like these full colour character profiles are just absolutely stunning. The Infernal Devices is part of the Shadowhunters world, and it's set in Victorian London as we follow Tessa Gray, and she comes to the UK to find her missing brother and ends up, you know, a bit like Clary, where she's wrapped up in the world of the Shadowhunters. And obviously it's got a bit of a romance in there as well. I thought this was such a find. Like, I didn't even know there was a manga of this series, but yeah, there is. Okay, so I feel like this went on a lot longer than I expected it to, but it's just because I wanted to go into a little bit of detail with those special editions for you guys, because I know, like, if you don't get the books and you don't get the boxes, it's just nice to kind of see these special editions. But yeah, these were nearly all. I just haven't put the Sarah J Maas ones on the shelf, but these were nearly all of the books that I got very recently, and I'm looking forward to reading them. I don't think I've read any of them yet, apart from Before They're Hanged. Yeah, apart from the books that are from series I've already read, I've only read Before They're Hanged. Buying books and reading books are 2 different hobbies, and I stand by that, and I like to buy books, so it's okay. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to give it a big thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below if you have read any of these books and which one you think I should pick up first. If you haven't already and you would like to be, please do consider subscribing. Post a new video every single week, and that is it from me today, guys. Bye!